Poetry came to me at a difficult time. The first poem that I wrote was about grief and loss. The second one was after having a dream. The poem is called A Dream, and it goes like this. She was making rice and stirring a pot of pollo guisao, beautifully, meticulously, cariñosamente. I contemplated her. Smells good, right, mija? A plethora of flowers fell from the heavens, magenta, purple, blue, and silver. They descended gracefully, lelo, lelo, lai, lelo, lelo, lai, carrying me to a fertile land. I saw a jibarito delighting in the freshly cut grass. With a melody on his lips and hierbas in his tattered hands, he scattered the seeds with care. Magia. Mommy continued mixing, a sprinkling of water on my head. Warm, therapeutic, relajante. I closed my eyes, releasing awareness, but my peace was interrupted. She stopped stirring, and I awoke to an empty stove. No pollo guisao, no flowers, no song. Now, when I woke up from that dream, I could have easily called my mother and said, Mommy, make me some pollo guisao. But instead, I wrote a poem to express how empty I felt. See, at the moment, I thought I was losing everything. So how do I fill my table once again? The answer did not come right away, and I continued writing. I wrote about my observations. I expressed my feelings. I created worlds. I wrote about the deaths of my cousin and my grandmother. One of the poems is called Time. It's in the blues format, AAB, which means that the first two lines repeat, and the next line is a response to the first two lines. I gave the box of chocolates. For days, I couldn't eat a thing. I gave the box of chocolates, and for days, I couldn't eat a thing. My little cousin isn't here. She took the flowers of spring. I was on my way to Paris when she was on her bed dying. I was on my way to Paris when she was on her bed dying. A soul can only take so much. It'd been 2 years of her crying. This wasn't the first time it happened. I didn't hold grandmother's hand. This wasn't the first time it happened. I couldn't hold grandmother's hand. I thought I had more time to give. I shouldn't have played in the sand. I won't go on a trip anymore because I know what my lot brings. I won't go on a trip anymore because I know what my lot brings. I shouldn't go around flying. I don't deserve to have wings. Many of my poems have a musicality, a cadence. See, when my grandmother came here from the Dominican Republic, she worked really hard and made sure that my relatives' upbringing was filled with music. She bought my aunt a saxophone. My aunt gave it to my mother, and my mother passed it on to me. When my grandmother passed away, I took her death very hard. But mother didn't like my grieving. I had music blasting. I can't tell you how often I've cried to a salsa or a merengue. Sometimes the lyrics are sad, you know. Other times they're happy songs that help me get through. There wouldn't be a need for happy songs if there was no suffering. But mother didn't like my grieving. I tried telling her not to take the music away. I couldn't handle the silence, the truth I've discovered. See, sometimes it is only after the flower is cut that we learn about its loneliness. And Abuela died lonely and in pain. I felt this unrecognizable hunger. One must not live by bread only. I know. I've got guilt, Abuela's words, and a song in my heart I can't manage to sing. Poetry taught me that I had stopped singing, that I needed to sing again, that I needed to dance again. I discovered that I was afraid of having hope, because I thought that if I had hope, more suffering and tragedy would take place. But having hope does not mean that there will be no struggle. It doesn't mean that I have forgotten where I come from or that I'm not aware of the things that I carry. So how do I fill my table once again? I discovered to actively seek and find something to look forward to every day, whether it is listening to the birds in the morning, writing, singing, or dancing. Because light can be found in the things you take for granted or in the things that are difficult. I will share with you a stanza from my poem called Life, because I love to sing, dance, and listen to salsa music, and the poem is about salsa music. Salsa is a proverb inside a flower carrying a fragrance that awakens the spirit. It's the roots of palm trees, the blanket our abuelas covered us with, made with old garments and tablecloths. We feel the warmth envelop our bodies. We rock back, sway from side to side, and move forward. Because nothing should be wasted, and much could be created with some imagination, inspiration, and love. May you find yourself surrounded by imagination, inspiration, and love. May you delight in the ordinary so that the ordinary acquires an exceptional magical quality. May you find something to look forward to every day and perhaps take some time to write poetry. Gracias.